What is going on, beautiful people of the world? Happy 12 days of gratitude. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is my favorite time of the year. The Thrive Forever Fit podcast turns into the 12 days of gratitude series, this time every single year. So from the 13th of December all the way through December the 24th, Christmas Eve, I will be launching a brand new episode with a special guest talking about the powers and awesomeness of gratitude. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you listen to all 12 episodes. I promise you, they will be amazing. They will be awesome. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, an abundant holiday season. Whatever you're into, be into it. I'm into it with you. Love you. Enjoy the series. Here we go. Jill, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for agreeing to be part of the 12 Days of Gratitude. It's kind of one of my favorite segments of the year. I get to bring on, at least 12 people, and I'm one of those. So I guess I should be one of my favorite people, right? You got to like yourself.
That's
so
right.
I get to bring on 12 people, and this year actually more because I did a couple of couples in there. So just a bunch of my favorite humans, and we're going to talk about gratitude and what it means and how we use it and how it's changed and all of those things. So my first question, this is what I've been asking everybody, is this. So when I say the word gratitude to you, if I just said, hey, define that for me or tell me about it, what does it mean to you? Like, how would you describe it to me? Like just gratitude in general.
To me, gratitude is the basis of my life.
Okay.
It is, how do I put this? It's the feeling I get when I look at life and realize everything that I have. And it is little things, it is big things, Jay. It is everything. Okay. I have a sign my kids gave me that hangs in my bedroom. It says, choose joy. And I see it every morning when I get up. But I know that for me, to choose joy means I have to be grateful. Okay. I have to find the gratefulness, the blessings in my day, and then I can feel the joy. Perfect.
I love that. Have you always been a really grateful person? And I know that's kind of a loaded question because we all want to be like, well, yeah, of course. But so describe to me like maybe how, because when we're teenagers and stuff like that, I mean, of course we're grateful for stuff, but I don't know if we really have I don't know if we have the brain capacity to really understand it. So kind of describe to me like how gratitude is different for you as we sit here today versus how maybe it was like 10, 15, 20 years ago.
I would always say I was a thankful person for my life and what I was living. Was I truly grateful? To me, I think I was thankful that I lived where I did, that I was being raised the way I was. 10, 15 years ago, I was happy and content with my life. But I'm not sure I felt the same gratitude. I don't even know that I really understood the definition of gratitude. I was just living my life, very thankful for the life I got to live, but I didn't understand the depth of how gratitude takes you to the next level.
Yeah. I totally agree. When you were talking about that, I was like, just kind of envisioning myself, like, whenever, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And I agree with you. I think, it's like, yeah, you're thankful. You're like, hey, this is awesome. Like, I love this. Like, this is cool. Like, love that person. Like, thankful for you. Like, but you almost, I'm going to use, this is the totally wrong word to use, but my brain, you know how my brain works. If it's a word in there, I just got to say it. It's almost like a superficial gratitude. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like, it's like, oh, this is a better term. It's almost like a surface level gratitude. I mean, it's real, but there's not a whole lot of depth associated with it or power or really understanding. Cause I was like you. And now, I mean, I really understand that like, oh my God, like this is a tool and a resource that I can use to make my life even better than it is today. So I love that you said that. Give me an example because I mean, you've been, just to preface this for you guys that are brand new to the show and don't know me very well or don't know Jill. Jill's one of my coaching clients, been with my Thrive Forever Fit program and private coaching with me for a while now. So we have a very close relationship. I know her ins and outs and all of those things. So I don't, if I say something that you guys are like, what are you guys talking about? It's only because we do a lot of one-on-one coaching and things of that nature. But I know your story, right? Like I know where you've
Yeah.
been, where you've came from, and all of those things that a lot of people don't. So I know how you now use gratitude differently than you did. And I know that you see things differently now than you used to. So just talk a little bit about that. You don't have to get into the details of whys and whats, but like just the power and the magnitude of what gratitude really is in your world as it sits today.
Oh,
And that's a heavy question. And I guess
it is.
my
It's
brain's,
a big.
well, here's where my brain's thinking. We're at a disadvantage because I know exactly what I want to ask you, right? But it's like, it's because I know you too well. So I'll say this.
Ask away.
Well, I'm going to preface this my way, and I'm going to say, because of what I've gone through in my life, maybe some of the pain and the tragedy and the struggles and the challenges, I now understand what the beauty of life and the amazingness of it, which maybe I didn't understand before I began to understand that like I am who I am today because of the challenges. And so I think that has fortified my level of gratitude and how I look at the world. And I feel like you're a lot of the same way. So I want you to describe that kind of in your words.
Okay. Well, when I think of gratitude, it literally sets my perspective on my day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have learned in this journey I'm on that I am grateful for everything. I am grateful for the good things in life. I'm grateful for being happy. I'm grateful for the sadness I've had, for the loss, for the trials. They've all turned into blessings because I wouldn't be where I am right now had I not gone through all those things. And learning to be grateful for it. 4 years ago, if you would ask me if I was grateful for my life, I likely wouldn't have been.
Right.
I'm just over the 4-year anniversary of losing my husband. And that was a huge trial in my life. But it wasn't the first trial. I had many before that. There were things, I was adopted at a young age. I had a lot of insecurities growing up, all those things. But the big one for me was losing Vern. And to say now, I am grateful for that trial. It's brought me to where I am. Would I take him back in a heartbeat?
Of course.
But through that trial, I learned who I am. I learned that I'm a lot more than I ever thought I was, Jay. I have a strength deep within me, which I think you saw when I didn't see it. Life has thrown a lot of curveballs in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It is not a fun journey. But as I look back, each one of those I'm grateful for. The trials, the people who, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say it, were against me, who judged my every move. They taught me empathy. Mm-hmm. You taught me how to look at it and to see it wasn't so much about me, it was about their hurt. Yeah. So I am so grateful for that. I have learned how to look at things so much differently in the last couple of years, just with an open heart, and to grow through the pain is hard, but it is so worth it. We've had so many conversations. I've wanted to quit because it gets hard.
Yeah.
But then I think, oh my gosh, I have so much to be grateful for. There are people who would take my life in a heartbeat because of where their life is. And we talk perspective a lot of time. And I think I'm learning that. My gratitude, I literally write, that's the first thing I write down. And it does set the perspective for my day. It
Yeah.
lets me focus on the good. Not every day is good. Not every day is happy. But by the end of the day, I can always look back at what started the day off. And I'm still grateful for those things.
Yeah.
I'm still grateful for the sunlight coming in. It's cold here today. And trust me, when the sun's shining, you don't even feel the temperature. And some days, all you can be grateful is for the cup of coffee you have. But you know what? I have a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
There are people who don't.
Right.
I may not have everything I want, but I'm working towards it.
And you're going to get it.
I'll get it, but it's not about things. It is so much about, I want to say, the gratitude I feel for the journey I've been on, for the loss I've experienced. It could actually make me cry because I have grown into someone that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have heard those words come out of my mouth 2 years ago or a year and a half
I know.
ago.
No, I'm proud of you too. I was going to ask you this. I went back and revisited some of the early messages that you sent me when we first started our journey.
Yeah.
And I mean, how long have we been working together? Me and time. Like yesterday's a mystery to me. Is it?
I'm going to say 18 to 20 months, something like that.
Okay. So we'll just call it like 18 months. And I went back and revisited, some of our early messages, of where you would, send me these things. And I mean, the human that wrote those is definitely in a different place than the human that, that I talk to now. And so your growth has been, I mean, exponential, and to overcome what you've overcome has been, and not even to overcome it, but to be brave enough and, just strong enough, because it wasn't easy. I mean, some of those first messages were, if I read them out loud today, I mean, we'd probably both start crying, but it was some heavy stuff,
I actually was journaling about that this morning. When the universe obviously is in alignment today.
Yeah.
And I think back and I think, oh my gosh, I actually, how did I put it? I said, what I have lost, actually, what was wrapped around me. Yes, I was very heavy, but it was hurt. It was anguish.
Yeah.
It was bitterness. It was resentfulness. It was just plain sad, ugly, all that. And I think as you showed me, and it was simple little steps, looking for the little gratitude. You didn't ask for a page of gratitude. You asked me to find 3 little things. And as I did, life's those the things that were wrapped around me so tight and holding me in such a bad place started to go away.
Yeah.
They started to let go. Those things that were hurting me so bad, Jay, I realized don't have power over me anymore.
True. Yeah, for those of you guys listening who don't know Jill's story, I mean, we're 130 pounds. I don't even know what the number is anymore.
Yeah, we're right around 130.
Yeah, so Jill's lost 130 pounds in that 18 months that we've been working together, and but more than that, it's what you've gained has been the big thing for me is that you've gained a new perspective on life and a new version of who that you get to be and are supposed to be. Like you said a while ago, you found yourself, kind of in the gratitude and in the struggles of all of that.
I've found, at least I found part of me so far.
Yeah. We're still searching always, right?
We're always growing and searching, but I have found the person I want to be. Family's very important to me. My girls, my son-in-laws, my grandkids. And I think back of and I know I said this to you, I have nothing to offer them, but I'm realizing I do now.
Yeah.
Because I am building a life where I have happiness, joy, I have abundance, And I'm not doing anything great. I'm not changing the world. I'm not campaigning for anything. I am just, I am just being a mom, a grandma who shows hopefully her kids, her grandkids, that it's never too late to change your life. You can move forward through anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I would beg to differ. I think you probably are changing the world and changing a lot of people's lives that you're really unaware of. My theory on, everybody's somebody's hero, and it's up
Yeah.
to us to make sure we're acting in accordance to that. So, yeah, I mean, way bigger than, and let's don't downplay the role of, mom and grandma and all that stuff as
No.
well. That's a massive role because I mean, that's where really I'm the strong human I am today because of who my mother was whenever we went through the things that we went through when I was a little
Hmm.
kid. And so, you get to, you're going to craft some spirits inside of some humans, which is a major thing that should not be overlooked. So I think you're doing amazing. I mean, I've got visions and plans and things for you that you probably don't even aware of yet, just because I know how strong you are, and I know.
That might be a little scary.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about them today. The value that you bring to the world is vast, and you continue to step into that. And I think going back to the piece just on gratitude is, I mean, you're using that every day as kind of like the foundation upon which you're building everything else in your life, and that's really the key. And that's how gratitude becomes, like I talked about earlier, that superficial level of kind of like, Lori has a phrase where she says, some people just like to scuba dive and some people like to snorkel, right? So snorkelers are just kind of on the surface. That's where kind of I used to be, and that's
Hmm.
probably where you used to be. But like whenever you start scuba diving and like really like diving deep into, the world of gratitude and what it's the powers of it and what it means and how it builds the foundation for your life, that's when you start to have these transformational things like you have 130 pounds lost, just growing and evolving, and like you said, you're using words now 18 months later that you wouldn't have used 18 months ago. You would have never said the word abundance. You've never said the
No.
word. Yeah, you would not have used this language. And so it's amazing for me to sit on the other side of this and listen to that, because it makes me so so happy for you.
It's about scuba diving. It's even when I think of my gratitudes that I write, they they are there's emotion behind them, Jay.
Yeah.
I have learned to add the emotion. It's not just the words,
Yeah.
it is the emotion. It is, why am I happy for my cup of coffee?
Yeah.
Why it you can, it's like doing I ams, I'm
Yeah.
happy, I'm this. If you have no basis behind it, they are just words.
Yeah. Yeah, when you
But
apply that consciousness, yeah, that emotional consciousness of it, I'm with you. And this has come up like in several of my gratitude interviews, is the people that really understand gratitude know that without the emotion, it's that you're just snorkeling.
yeah, like I try, well, you see my gratitudes on the
Mhm.
page. There's usually a little story behind each of them too.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, when I say I'm happy for the sunshine shining in, it's cold here today.
Yeah.
But that sun, it just warms my soul. It reminds me there's better days coming ahead. It might be cold here for a while. That's okay. But it's the little emotions you attach to things that bring you so much more joy, so much more fulfillment.
Yeah, totally agree. Just speaking on that gratitude, I wrote down something when you're talking earlier, and I was like, we always think of gratitude as like these, or I shouldn't say we always, a lot of times we think of it as like, it's gotta be like these things that are tangible that we can see and touch and feel and all of that kind of stuff. But I wrote down, that I was grateful for like the randomness and random meetings, just because of how we actually met. That started off just a landslide of other things for you and for me and for everybody that's in both of our lives. And so I think that was
Mhm.
a really cool, it was a really cool time, and you got to be thankful for stuff like that as well.
I am. You and I met randomly.
Mhm.
Even my journey down to meet you one-on-one this couple months ago, um, the gratefulness. I came home soaring inside, and I had literally no plans for that.
Yeah.
My only plan was to make it through one of your workouts and survive and walk away.
Well, you
I
did
actually,
great.
I did 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So I was proud of myself, but I didn't have any expectations. And I went in there just open-hearted. The people that we have are amazing. The warmth I felt, literally, I told you, I came home and my soul was filled. It was a little journey for me to learn to breathe again, to take a deep breath and stop, really let go of all the hurt and anguish that's been in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a process too, right? It's like, I mean, I think there's moments in time where those things present themselves again. And if we've
Mhm.
got if we've got the tools and the resources to, we mentioned this earlier before we even started the call, was perspective.
Yeah.
When you can apply a bigger or broader or a new perspective to the same scenario or same question, you get different answers. And so you're looking at things through a different lens now than maybe you would have, 2 years ago.
Oh, totally. I would have had plans. I would have had, you know, expectations of what my time in the desert and over in Carlsbad was going to be. And, it all blew me away because I didn't do anything that the old Jill would have done.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of times we make those, this is kind of an offset a little bit, but I feel like a lot of times we make those rigid, hardcore plans because it's a fear mechanism. Like it's
Hmm.
almost like a safety mechanism. It keeps us from having to, like, the unknown is sometimes scary or challenging. And so for you to do what you did, that was you just being open to the process, which has kind of been what you've done, since day one, is you've opened yourself up to the process of growing and evolving and using all the strategies that we teach
Yeah.
to grow.
And it's a constant growth, and it's not linear, as you always say.
Mhm.
And I know everyone thinks I'm having so much success and I don't hit the roadblocks. I hit them the same as you.
Yeah.
I hit them the same. They're just different roadblocks,
Yeah,
Jay.
totally.
They are just different. It wasn't too long ago that I sent you a message. I want to quit,
Mhm.
and people wouldn't understand that. Why? It's because it gets hard.
Yeah, it's challenging.
And I have to dig deeper for my gratitudes, and I have to really embrace, and I kind of analyze it like peeling layers off an onion.
Mhm.
And when you peel an onion, there's a lot of tears that go along with it,
Yeah, it's a great analogy.
and each layer hurts, and each layer, um, it's tough.
Well, I think that's a good thing to bring up, is like success in any realm, or for any, whatever it is you're doing in life. Like, it's not without challenge, and every successful person has challenges. I wrote something down in my journal the other day, and I don't even remember where I heard it or where I came up with it, but it was something to the effect of, successful people fail or fall as much as everybody else. They've just learned to get up quicker. And so
Hmm.
it's not about not falling or failing or having a bad day or feeling like shit or being bummed out or whatever, insert your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the awareness of that, and then getting yourself back into alignment with the life that you truly want to live. It's like one of my favorite things to ask you guys when you send me a message like that, like, hey, I want to quit, or blah blah blah. My question to you guys is always like, well, what's the alternative, right? Like, what? Then fine, I'm totally cool with that. But
Yeah.
you tell me what that alternative is going to be, right? And when you get to a place and you're so evolved from 2 years ago, it's like, when you start thinking of the alternative, you're like, well, that sucks. I'm definitely not doing that again. So you know what? I'll keep going. Never mind.
That's exactly it. I took a breath. I took a step. You
Yeah.
told me, take a breath. And I had to realign a few things had gotten out of alignment for
Yeah.
me.
And they do for everybody.
Uh, right. And so I did. But even while I was out of alignment, there are so many habits I have now that I can't even quit if I want to quit, Jay.
Yeah.
I have gotten so in alignment in other areas that that isn't an option,
Right. Well, and
you
you know,
know.
for me, I think it's about this. Like when I think about you guys, it's like you've now recreated. It's like writing a book. Like in our past is a different version. It's a different book, right? And when you start writing new chapters to your life, and they're advanced and evolved, and they're different, and they're better, and they're happier, and they're all these things. Well, then that makes it really challenging to go back the other way. And that's why we focus so much on the psychology and the mindset
Mhm.
of why we do what we do, and not just going through the motions of the surface level stuff. I mean, we actually go, we definitely are scuba diving in our processes, in our program, and in our teachings and our communication. It's like, I had a coaching call yesterday, and I teed up the screen, and client was basically crying and said, I think we need to reschedule this. And I said, well, we both know that's not going to happen. And let's figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And by the end of that, she said, I can't believe I even told you we should reschedule. I mean, I knew you weren't going to let me. I don't even know why that came out of my mouth. But like, it's sometimes shit's heavy. Sometimes shit's not fun, right? But it's like, it's through the processes of going back to the little things, back to gratitude, back to
Mhm.
being in alignment, back to wanting your purpose, and back to all those things. It's like, well, of course I can't quit. I mean, yeah, I wanted to a while ago, but now I realize that that's not even really an option.
No, it isn't. And I was laughing. You say scuba dive. Some days I feel like you're holding my head underwater
Hey,
until I learn to trust the
that
process.
well, that's why they say never go scuba diving alone. There's always a buddy, right? Like I'm gonna make you stay down
Right?
there, right? We got plenty
You're
of
going to make me
oxygen.
stay down there and swim.
Yeah.
And something else that just kind of floated through my head in my journey. Um, I understand that some emotions don't need to be responded to.
100%.
Um, I understand that growth brings up a lot of things. I am working through the guilt that goes along with all of a sudden living this amazing life,
Yeah.
because my life was taken away from me, what I thought it was. And then I have to dig deep on those days and be very grateful. And I am grateful I get to grieve and I hope I grieve till the day I die in some form, because I'm missing something that was amazing.
100%.
But on the same hand, I flip the gratitude on that. And I know that Vern would be so proud of me as to where I've gotten. We've talked about it, some of the stuff that I'm doing now. He would be going, finally, you get it. You have to create your own happiness.
Yeah.
He was always there to support me, but I wasn't getting the part where I had to find the happiness inside me all the time.
Yeah.
I wanted someone else to do the work for me.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I think a lot of us, I've been stuck there before too. And it's not until you realize that, unfortunately, sometimes it takes a tragedy, for us to be like, okay, wait a minute, like what's going on? And what you were saying a while ago is like, just because you're living happily now and you're choosing joy, like you said, the thing that hangs on your wall, and you believe in abundance and like life, that doesn't discount love that you had for someone in the past. It doesn't discount experiences. It doesn't discount anything. It's like a giant novel. It's a giant book. And that chapter was amazing. And it was, you would never want to not have that. Like you said earlier,
No.
would you want Vern back in a second? Well, absolutely. Who wouldn't? But that's not a reason for you to sacrifice the rest of your life of happiness and gratitude and abundance and all those things. And I think a lot of times we get stuck in, and I know you've been there and I've been there, where we almost sacrifice our own happiness because it feels like, you said the word guilt. You feel guilty because that person's no longer here. And the people that love that person may be still grieving in a different way that you are. My explanation to that is like, listen, I feel like it's my responsibility to live for those people that are no longer here, and allow their energy to come through me and what I get to present to the world. And so if I look at it that way, then it's my obligation to be an awesome human. It's my obligation to be grateful. It's my obligation to believe in abundance. And I know that you're kind of in that same vein.
Yeah. Sometimes we just get stuck in that martyr
Yeah.
mentality, or this is what people think I should be doing.
Yeah.
And through this process, I have learned you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, Jay. Some
Yeah.
think you're too happy. Some don't think you're sad enough. Some
Yeah.
think this. You know what? It doesn't matter. It matters that I know I am living a life that I am proud of.
Yep.
I am honoring Vern's memory the best I can. I am moving forward, and I'm going to say very tentatively with baby steps. Some people think they're huge steps. To me, they're baby steps every single day. I'm only aiming for 1%.
Yeah.
Better. I'm not taking leaps. I am going 1% better every day. And I kind of figured out my purpose. I want to nurture people and I want to inspire them. And I want them to do the best for their life. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You have taught me definitions are they're not black and white.
Right. Yeah,
And I love that.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't be. We get to create and live in the world as we decide to, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of times when we start living through those definitions, it's somebody else's version of what life's supposed to be. And that's never fulfilling, and that's never rewarding. That's never abundant, and it's really hard to be grateful. And so if you're listening right now and maybe you're struggling to find gratitude or even understand why you would need it or want it or how you could utilize it, just feel free to change the definitions of some things, right? Like you get to define how, and I always throw the caveat out there, like, my mission in life is to positively and powerfully impact every human that I come in contact with. So, obviously we're not talking about if your definitions are bad or whatever. We're talking about beautiful, gorgeous people that have other humans' best interest at heart.
Mhm.
And when I think about that, it's like you get to define like how you want to choose to live your life and the definitions that you want to apply to that. And I think you've started doing that, and that's really opened you up to a new vision of like, hey, there's a lot that I can bring to this world. And like you said, you want to empower and inspire and, help other people live, even whether it's, everybody's tragedy is different. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
whatever it is they've gone through or will go through, you're just the kind of human that needs to be in their lives so that they can be inspired to keep taking those steps to get up faster.
And it is the definition totally. You're working on your hero project, and I had a hard time with that word.
Mhm.
And I realized I was raised to keep myself small
Yeah.
and raise other people up. But that was my mom's definition of
Yeah.
being humble.
Yeah. When I talk about a hero, I don't think about capes and stuff like that, right?
No. And I am learning it's okay to be confident and proud of where I've come.
Yeah.
I have done the work.
Yeah.
I am doing the work. So it's okay.
Yeah.
So many of those powerful words, heroes, even getting ahead of the pack, whatever, it doesn't mean you're stepping on someone to do it.
Zero.
It means you're doing the work inside you.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Listen, but in that, what you just said is so powerful. It's like we need to be our own hero, right? Because there's going to be times in life where you're going to be the only one there to make the decision. Am I going to get up off the floor today? And if you're not your own hero, you might not make that decision. And then when I think about, heroes, like I think of you as a hero. I think of humans as heroes. Like everybody is somebody's hero in a different capacity or a different way. And it's our obligation to show up and be that person for those. Like you're a hero to somebody you don't even know you're a hero to. You, me, everybody listening. And so when you think of it like that, don't think of it in terms of, oh, I'm better than somebody because I'm a hero. I think we've misconceptualized in my brain. Like I'm going to give you what Jay Nixon this is. When we think of the word hero, we often think of celebrities or sports stars or people that we'll never know, never meet, don't even really know anything about. We just watch them do something on television or in a big stadium. Heroes are people that have the ability to make a positive, powerful impact on your life in a moment's notice, right? Like with little things. And so I think we just have to, for me, this is my goal, is to demystify the word hero and make it, nobody has to change clothes in a phone booth, and there's no magic superpowers, and nobody's flying and leaping over tall buildings. It's just you being the best version of you is going to be hero enough for somebody else to then say, you know what, that's strong for me, and I'm going to follow that person's footsteps. So that's what hero means to me.
Yeah. And that I'm getting there. I'm realizing I just want to inspire people. When you said getting up off the floor, my journey with what I've been through has been lonely in some ways. Yeah. We have a great tribe, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I literally, Jay, every day have to make that decision of getting up off the floor. I don't have anyone in this house saying, come on. Or I don't have kids that I have to get up for, even when I don't feel like it, that live with me.
Yeah.
And that has been a hard thing. Some days I am on the floor and I'm in tears and I'm like, why? But as you said, what's my option?
Yeah. What's the alternative?
What's my option? And in this journey, I now have a 4-year-old who was born shortly, 28 days after Vern died. And I remember thinking, what do I have to offer him? And then I have another 2-year-old or 1.5-year-old grandson. And I have another baby on the way. And you know what? Grandma can't be a puddle on the floor all the time. That is not going to teach those kids anything. Grandma needs to get up, become the best person she can. And it's not easy every day. It actually sucks a lot of days. This time of year really sucks.
Yeah.
I go through a lot of the motions and I dig really deep. But you know what? I get to be both grandma and grandpa. And I get to let those little wonders understand and know what their grandpa was. And I get to share the joys of Vern's life with them. And hopefully they feel that and they realize they've come from some strong people.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say this, like the truth is that, you get to be grandma and grandpa because you're strong enough to be, right? We're not presented with things that we can't handle, and you're definitely strong enough to handle, both of those responsibilities. And not only strong enough, but you've taken it on, and that's hero level living as far as I'm concerned. So when I like going back to what I said a while ago, like those are the definitions that I'm using to define, heroes, is people that keep showing up for other people and making their life better. When I think about my grandmother, it's like, definitely one of my heroes, one of the strongest women I've ever known. And so, I think we all need to just maybe take a step back when we think about in terms of that and realize that, hey, listen, we've all got something really special and unique to bring to the table. Be grateful for the opportunities and be grateful for the situations that get presented to us, even if they don't feel amazing at the time, right? Because we always talk about this in the process is, opportunity and awesomeness is often, presented to you in the form of an adversity.
That's so true. After our last podcast, I often think of this. You said I was going to hit adversity. Sure. I literally think it was 3 days later when my world imploded. And I remember texting you going, can't do this, PTSD, the whole bit. And you know what? I did it. I grew through that one too. That was another hard growing thing. And as life throws things, gratitude is the only thing that gets you through. Some days you realize how I was grateful. What happened was my mom ended up in emergency surgery situation. I was grateful at the time with the COVID situation. I was able to be there for her.
Mhm.
And because of everything I've been through, I was able to be there for her.
Yeah.
I'm at that point. Like, and those are the little gratitudes you sometimes have to pull out in the middle of chaos. Okay, I am able to do this. I am
Yeah.
able to be here for someone who needs you. It's
Well,
not always about yourself. It's always,
you've done the work though. Like you're able to do that now. Like you said earlier, like you have so many, that's just part of who you are now. And so it's like, it doesn't really, there's the options aren't really anything other than to keep showing up and to keep going and to keep doing the things that that create the life that you really want to live.
it is. I have a toolbox full of tools that work if I implement them.
Absolutely. Well, buddy, I am
And
super, super proud of you. I want to say thank you for agreeing to do this with me. And, I know that, sharing our life stories isn't always the most, the thing we look forward to doing the most, but I guarantee you, it's like you said earlier, you want to inspire and help people. And I know you've done that today and you inspired me and helped me. And I just want to let you know that I'm uber grateful for you and I'm blessed to have you in my life. And can't wait to see you again soon.
thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, you've made you're my hero. You've helped me
Aw.
through so much,
Thank you,
and
bud.
you're helping me get my life moving in the right direction. And for anyone out there, I just encourage them to just start small. I think
Absolutely.
everyone gets overwhelmed in the fact that we have to start big.
Yeah.
And it's just one little gratitude a day. Think of something before you even get out of bed in the morning
Little
that you are
hint,
grateful for.
little hinges swing big doors. So,
Yeah,
all right, bud, I'll see you at the live event in January.
I sure hope I'm there.
I'm
I will be.
excited. I know you will. All right, I'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye
Bye,
bye.
bud.